D1031, Joe Escalante here with my special guest, Richard Kelly. The movie is called Southland Tales. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a long time. I'm glad to have another movie.
Yeah. So you just go through life as the Donnie Darko guy, and is that a curse when you're putting? Do they treat you fairly? Does the process treat you fairly, or
It's been a blessing. I mean, it's wonderful that people still talk about that movie, and I'm so proud of it. But over these years, I've been working so hard on Southland Tales that I just wanted to prove to people that I'm not a one-trick pony, and that I can do. You know, I have a lot more in me.
But you're so young. You got time.
No, it's been great to finally get this movie to the finish line, because it's been a long struggle.
And let's go a little bit more through with the cast, because it just looks like you just made a list of people you want to hang out with, and you just got it because they're all really fun people.
Yeah, it's sort of like a cocktail party of the funnest people I could imagine. There's so many actors in this movie, I forget to list them all.
Right.
But there's Sean William Scott, obviously Dwayne Johnson, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Sean William Scott, Mandy Moore, Justin Timberlake, Sherry O'Terry, Amy Poehler.
Amy Poehler, we love her.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
And you're a Saturday Night Live fan.
I am.
It's evident. So am I.
John Lovitz and Nora Dunn and Sherry O'Terry, Miranda Richardson, Curtis Armstrong, Zelda Rubinstein. The list goes on and on. Yeah.
Booger and Poltergeist Lady.
Christopher Lambert from Highlander.
So you had to go get the Highlander guy.
I had to. He plays a renegade neo-Marxist freedom fighter who sells automatic weapons out of his ice cream truck.
And he's like, he doesn't even need to see the script. He goes, yes, I will do that.
But actually, there's a scene where Sherry O'Terry beats him up.
No! See, this is good.
And Sherry O'Terry, she plays a neo-Marxist freedom fighter named Zora Carmichaels, who is a struggling stand-up comedian, and she's ripping off Sam Kinison in her act, and she's very angry, and she has a rage attack on Christopher Lambert in his ice cream truck and kicks his ass.
Oh, you know what I like about you is you genuinely like your movie, because I get some directors in here and I don't want to talk about it too much, but I can see that you like it and that other people are going to like it.
Well, that's the struggle. You know, you're with the movie for so long, you have to. It's a blessing if you're happy with the way it turned out, and just try to. We've struggled with this movie to try to get it to the finish line, because it's an epic, and it's very political, and it has a lot going on, and to try to get it in the best shape possible took a lot of time, but we're really proud of what we've got now.
Now, was it molded over current events when things started really kind of coming true, that you were just kind of fictionalizing things, and then certain things started actually happening, you have to change the story around?
Well, you know, it takes place in an alternate reality, and as
you live in.
We live in, really, and we get closer to 2008. We've found we've been in almost two years in post-production on this film, and there's a lot of fake newscast stuff in it, and we had footage of all over Los Angeles that we had shot, and we've discovered as we were doing all the newscasts that it was becoming so much accurate to what's really going on today. It's just slightly worse.
Did you
can imagine that.
Just slightly. Do you usually use real newscasters when you're going to do one, or do you cast actors?
We brought in KTLA, Carlos Amezcua.
Those are the go-to guys.
Yeah, and Carlos Amezcua is great, and
Love
Leila
him.
Feinstein. We spent a day at KTLA, and they recorded a full day's worth of fake 2008 news. You know, all about World War III and the draft and the Mega Zeppelin that's anchored in downtown Los Angeles, just north of Staples Center.
I love it. I love it when you see real news. When you see real news people in movies, I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's tough to fake that kind of stuff, because
you can't.
Yeah.
They can't.
A very specific way of talking. It's like you have a radio voice or you have a news anchor voice, and
I have none of these.
You have a great voice, but but Carlos Amezcua was great, and he's now been promoted to Fox News. And so in our movie, it's a parallel universe. So he's still working at KTLA. So that's how I explain it.
Yeah, exactly. But you can explain anything that way. What about the music in this one? Because the music in Donnie Darko ended up being just such a huge part of its original release and then the resurgence.
Well, this movie, I'm so excited about the soundtrack. Obviously, Moby does the score.
Now you can get anybody.
Yeah, well, I'm lucky that all these great musicians were kind enough to give us their music. The Killers, obviously, the Pixies, Black Rebel Motorcycle Club.
What Pixie song do you got in there?
Wave of Mutilation, the surf rock version.
Cool.
Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, Waylon Jennings, Jane's Addiction, Radiohead, Muse.
This is the indie playlist.
Yeah,
you know, Richard. You're in the right spot.
Great artists. And,
I told you, Liz, this guy's us. Oh, Liz. have your mic on. Liz, let me hear you. Let me hear you talk.
And there's the soundtrack comes out November 6th. Milan Records was great.
Oh, really?
To release
Okay.
it. And
That's good to get it on. It's hard to get a soundtrack simultaneously like that.
it really is.
Doesn't happen all the time.
The music business is in such disarray, and Milan is really passionate about independent films and offbeat films and trying to make sure that there's a soundtrack put out. And there's actually enough music for there to be a second disc. If the movie is successful and the soundtrack does okay, they're talking about doing a second disc with more of the music, because there's this, we have Blur as the end credit song. The song is Tender by Blur, and there's also, God, there's so many musicians I'm forgetting, but some old-fashioned music like Bertha Tillman and some jazz and some film noir and stuff.
Cool. Now, excuse me, that's my Neil Hammer impersonation. But a couple things I want to ask before we have to get out of here. Your fans, kind of obsessed. Are they? Do you identify with them, or do you fear them?
I love that anyone that responds to my work. I think it's just an honor, and I'm really flattered by it. And I think it's given me a lot of fuel to keep doing what I want to do, and to try to make really interesting offbeat films. I'm still at a point in my career where I can try to take risks, and I think if people are responding to the work in a way that is incredibly passionate, or the way they define cult, or whatever they want to describe it, those are the people that really love movies and care about movies. So that's my primary audience, so I'm going to keep playing to them.
Could you give me a profile of a typical Richard Kelly fan? Like if you were a policeman.
Handsome.
Really?
Beautiful.
They sound like Vandals fans.
Yeah.
What do you think? What are they like? What are they?
There are
Typical
all
person.
different kinds of people. I get middle-aged housewives coming up to me at a wedding talking about how they think it reinforces Catholic values. I get a 12-year-old kid coming up to me, and I'm
going to kill the Pope based on your movie. You got everything?
God, I hope not.
What about things like the things that you have put into like the lexicon, like "Shut Up" from Tarita Chan and Donnie Darko, Sparkle Motion.
Yeah. I saw a girl wearing a Sparkle Motion T-shirt.
That's got to make you feel good.
It does. It's.
Did you stop her and floor her?
No, I shook her hand and I said, I never doubted your commitment.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I heard one last thing, but I heard a rumor that you were maybe interested in the redoing the film Vanishing Point. Is that just an internet rumor, or is that?
Well, no, I wrote. Earlier this year, I wrote a remake screenplay of that film for Tony Scott, and
that's one of my favorite movies. So that's
it's a great film, and I was nervous about going in and writing a remake of it, but Tony had a really specific idea about how to do it, and it's a really political script, and it's also has a great concept. So I don't know ultimately what Tony's going to do with it, but he's probably doesn't want me talking too much about it.
But just in general, Vanishing Point is a good thing to put on your Netflix, because that is that's a must view for if you ask me. I saw it by myself as an 8-year-old in a theater in Inglewood.
Yeah.
And Inglewood was not any better back then than it is today. So I don't know
no good.
I was up to no good. All right, Richard Kelly, the film is Southland Tales. Congratulations, AFI Film Festival, and we're going to see it. We got 2 chances. November 2nd. That is tomorrow night, 7 p.m. That's the big red carpet.
Yes.
Good luck getting into that one. And but Saturday, 12 p.m. See it in the day at the ArcLight there. I say good luck getting into both, but you can go to indie1031.com. We got all kinds of AFI links over there, and you get tickets for all the stuff. And Indie 1031 appears in this one. We tried to get into the Don Rickles documentary. Something happened, but thanks for picking up the slack.
It was my honor. You guys are great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we will we'll talk to you anytime. You're always welcome here on Indie 1031.
Great. Thank you.
Richard Kelly, Southland Tales. It's 8:34. The surf and the news coming up next.